Oh,
What?
No. Nothing.
I know what I told you, but now I'm telling you we're facing a new strain. It spreads like the flu.
Impossible.
Fine. Go to the hospital, check it out yourself. Go without a mask,
Wipe
you'll
my
see more
nose on
clearly.
that sweater.
You got 19 dead, you got hundreds more infected, and it's spreading like a brush fire. You got to isolate the sick, and I mean really isolate them, Billy. We got to get everybody else back into the houses. We got to keep them there.
We're doing that, Sam.
No, we're not doing it because I just drove through 100 people. And if one of them has got it, then 10 of them have got it. And if one of them gets out, then we're in deep fucking shit.
Damn. Delta Lambda Omicron is the worst frat ever. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Nothing Yet Live. This is COVID Corner.
Yes, I am your Miss Parker, and this is Jay Tyler.
Yeah, yes.
And we wanted to go on at 420, but unfortunately, sometimes when you celebrate 420, you have to recover from the ensuing coughing fit, hence the tardiness.
Right.
But this is a 420 show.
So, since we love diving into happiness here, go ahead.
You know what? This doesn't make me sad.
Oh,
And
wow.
we can maybe dive into why that is.
I have gotten my COVID booster.
Maybe that's partly why it doesn't make me sad, because I feel like all I can do is...
It hurt like hell.
Yeah, I know. He cried like a baby. We talked about that. And he didn't get a lollipop because you don't get a lollipop when you cry.
I got a Bang energy drink.
That's what crybabies get.
So how bad could it be? Go. Crybaby.
Until key questions about the new coronavirus variant are answered, it's impossible to predict its impact with certainty. Still, several teams of scientists are using... Yes.
Say it right. Several teams of nerds.
Several teams of nerds are projecting possible scenarios for the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
They're using nerd machines. Now, this is not something that's unusual. I mean, I've heard that they've solved a handful of diseases by crowdsourcing them. Like, they put these games out there. They're like, could you come up with a solution to this? You ever heard of that?
I think I have heard of that.
Yeah.
I think that's incredibly cool.
Hey, let's crowdsource it.
If you put a problem out to enough people, I wish we had a team of writers, because whenever I watch Stephen Colbert or Seth Meyers, I just think
editor.
They're so funny. And it's like, well, they have a whole team of people.
A team of scientists.
To throw out
nerds around computers.
They throw out the bad ideas. The bad ideas get chewed up and spat out, and it makes way for the good ideas.
Amazing what you can do with a team of writers, a producer, an engineer, and maybe an editor.
And a data specialist.
And somebody to sell this shit.
Exactly.
No,
Anyway, that's another subject. Among the first Omicron-related projections to be made public is one from the UT COVID-19 Modeling Consortium at the University of Texas in Austin. That group has modeled 16 Omicron scenarios that cover a range of how quickly it spreads, how easily it evades immunity, and how quickly we are able to roll out booster shots, says Lauren Ansel Myers, who directs the consortium.
Did I tell you I got mine? I hear it has some memory side effects, but I don't know.
I heard it makes your dick small, but your ball's big.
That's right.
According to some of these scenarios, the Omicron wave might only intensify
Omicron wave, band name.
The Delta surge that's underway.
Their first biggest hit.
We can't agree on the collective we can't agree on how to solve this problem. Meanwhile, Delta and Omicron are working together to propagate.
What? Misinformation?
Whatever it is that makes them spread faster.
Well, they are spreading like
wildfire, and we're in deep fucking shit.
The vaccines should be spreading like wildfire.
Well, to be fair, if you try,
I got it second I could.
If you try to book a vaccine
times.
online where we live, you're looking at a few weeks. Right. He got in today because we were willing to take a little bit of a drive.
Yeah, well, yeah, and not everybody can do that, obviously.
Right.
Not everybody has them.
Right, we were able and willing to take a little drive.
Yeah, Marina.
Yeah, and that's where I got mine too, also in Marina. By around the end of January 2000, more than 500,000 people could catch the virus every day
Mm,
on average, which
nice.
is more than double the peak reached last winter,
Mm.
according to the most pessimistic scenario. In the following weeks, an estimated 29,812 people will be hospitalized with COVID 19, and 3,876 would die every day on average, according to this projection. The most pessimistic scenarios are scary, and we need to sort of equip ourselves to make changes.
I thought I was being super pessimistic when I was like,
I know. When you
it's
said
like 250,000
250,000
dead. I
dead,
thought that was super pessimistic.
yeah, now we're over
And
up
then
to
in April, I
over
was changing my
800,000. And
yeah.
that's just in the US. We're
No, and
talking
I thought,
US.
okay, so I changed it in April. I was like, oh, 410,000 by January, and I was still short.
Yeah, more than double short.
And then people out there are just like, oh, we're not getting vaccinated. Or
Well, then it's coming down to fine, you're not getting vaccinated, you're getting the virus. That's just,
let's do
and
like they used to do with smallpox. They would take a bloody scab from somebody who had smallpox and they would jam it into an open wound you had.
well, I think that worked. Or they would
It
grind it up. They would take a bunch of them and grind them up and then feed them to somebody or make a serum out of it.
uh
Because I mean, you there
according to
are
this,
there are antibodies in there. Once the scabs dry up and fall out, it's because you've produced antibodies.
well, this is the guy I was doing the research on about this guy that was started the craze of like the exercise craze, like Mr. America. It's a book called Mr. America.
Okay.
Um, but the guy is like hates vaccines. He's totally anti-vax. He thinks that like just living a good life and like eating right and that you wouldn't get sick, right? So, and the reason why he felt that way was because they literally took a scab and jammed it into an open wound he had, and he was laid up for like 6 months because he got smallpox, but he survived it. He was
That's
one of
not a
the,
vaccine, though.
but that's what they thought were vaccines back in 1880 or
Okay,
1870
so he
when he
was
was
an
a kid.
anti-vaxxer way back.
Yeah,
Okay, I can kind of
but he lived into
understand
the
that.
20th century, and he's like the godfather. He's the father of like the modern, like basically CrossFit.
What's his name?
Um, he called himself, oh, it's like Branderd, but he changes his name to like Brana. Anyway. I'll look it up after we get off this segment. But yeah, he was a total. He believed that like if you just like he got sick, and so he just like worked out and starved himself, and then he got healthy, and he thought, oh, that's all you need to do.
Well, after I had a baby, I thought I could climb Mount Everest. I mean, I thought I survived that. I can do anything.
Eh.
You survived smallpox? That's a big deal. He
So,
probably got
but he just
a big head about it.
so this is like this idea that you think that just like clean living and shit and not getting vaccinated is going to help. Like,
Right.
I think he died long before the shit came around, really. But yeah. Yeah, I'll give you guys some more information after this, but yeah.
Generally, I think clean living is a good idea. And if we didn't have vaccines, I would say, yeah, that's a good way to keep yourself healthy. But we have vaccines now, and clean living is not going to protect you if you are exposed
To
to
this kind of shit.
Omicron
Yeah.
because it's so contagious. It's not, and your body's never seen anything like it unless you're vaccinated.
Yeah. Well, so like yeah, get your fucking shots, man. The pessimistic scenario also assumes that Omicron is extremely adept at evading our immune systems. So this thing's just like, yeah, we've seen this, right?
The early research that I'm seeing is that it's effective. Your immune system can take it if you've had a booster shot.
Right.
If you have been more than 6 months since your second.
Well, I was
Yeah,
like
same here.
7,
You were 8. Both of us were like
7 months.
8 months.
Yeah.
But if you're more than 6 months post your second Moderna or Pfizer, then you're not protected against Omicron, and Omicron can kick your ass. But if you're boosted, you're looking at a mild illness.
I didn't even notice it. Then
Notice what?
again, look, I said this before, and I'll say it again. I'm like one of those people that like I could walk around with this.
With the virus.
Yeah. So I still wear. I'm all vaxxed up. Still gonna wear a mask when I'm around you filthy animals. Like I'm going to Telluride. Of course, I'm gonna fucking mask up. Um, but that place is like it's known to be like
There are gonna be a lot of
have
visitors there
outbreaks.
too, no doubt,
Possibly, yeah.
and
Well, I mean,
they
it is a
from
ski
all over.
resort, so yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna hide from this shit. Um, so prediction next year. You were saying like what we were gonna talk about predictions. Um, how many dead by next year?
By when next
Well,
year?
we're at almost a million, right?
We're at like
So you
860,000
think
in the
double this
US.
next year? You think we'll be at 1.6 million by
No, I don't
next
think we'll
January?
be at that many. I think I'm predicting another 400,000 in the next year.
Of COVID.
Dead from COVID in the United States. 400,000. That's my
That's
prediction for 2022.
closest without going over. We're sick here.
I don't think I'm going over. If anything, I'm probably under, but just based on history.
All right,
What do
well,
you think?
I'll go 500,000
Okay, so you'll go.
because there's still a shit ton of people that are just refusing to even get the first round of vaccines. So,
And I'm hearing
and
that
it's Christmas time.
the
It's like,
statistics of people who are vaccinated are actually an overestimate because it's only taking into account the first shot. Not everybody is getting their second shot,
hey, you
much
guys,
less the third.
like, be safe out there. If anybody out there thinks that the death toll is going to stop rising, you're fucking wrong, man. Like, you're so wrong. If you think that the death toll is going to stop rising, that the calendar is going to change, or March is going to come around and everything's going to be back to normal and the death toll is not going to rise, dude, we blew past HIV, and that shit's been around for decades. And HIV has killed a lot of people.
It still is,
But
actually.
that was decades.
Yeah.
I'm talking about decades. I'm talking about the United States, still killing people worldwide, of course. But this this shit is COVID-19 has blown right past it, and people are not as stressed about it.
Well, HIV
People are still more
is
stressed
a
out.
lot harder to get than
Well,
you don't get you're not going to get
look,
HIV from a coffee shop unless you have sex in the bathroom.
look, like, we live in the future, like from where HIV was. We live in the future now. So far be it for us. We would never in this future state, as enlightened as we are now, deride people for being worried about catching COVID-19 or wearing masks or getting vaccinated. You would think that, Jesus, that's like in the past, right? Like, that never happens anymore, right? It's the same shit, man.
I think there are a lot of
Politicizing this disease and
I
then,
think there are a lot
making it a
of
culture issue.
Missourians
Dude, we have managed
in
to
the
make
world.
the deadliest disease in 100 years a fucking social issue. Like, not a medical issue, not anything. Like, we managed to make it into this, like, counterculture issue.
Didn't we have a conversation about this? Wasn't there something similar with the
I don't know. I hear the
Spanish
booster
flu?
affects your memory.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
It's-
It also affects your hearing.
Mm.
So, didn't something like that happen with the Spanish flu where there was
No, in the Spanish flu,
anti-maskers and
in the Spanish flu, people were walking around with masks on, and they were wearing signs that said, "Wear a mask or go to jail."
I thought that there was a revolt. I thought that there were people that were in
Fought back
denial
against.
about
I'm
it.
sure they're all dead
But they don't have they didn't have social media, so
to
it didn't
propagate their
have
fantasies.
it wasn't like the gasoline and fire
Fan
situation like we
fiction, you
have
gotta
now.
love it. But yeah, I mean, there it is. There it is.
And I just want to point out
Can you
that
imagine that today? Wear a mask or go to jail?
oh my god.
Holy shit.
Yeah, this was before Nazi Germany. They didn't have Nazi Germany to fall back on. Now,
See?
now that's where the dick multipliers would come out.
Even she can learn stuff.
It's
No,
because I hang around a man all the time.
the COVID corner derives from,
Derives.
like the Spanish flu. Like that, like if this was 100 years ago and people had podcasts,
But
this is
look,
what they would have
I
been
keep
talking
thinking
about.
about people who
Would have been
can't
fucking weird.
take a vaccine or who won't build antibodies even if they get a vaccine. Those people are vulnerable. And I know that the Marjorie Taylor Greens of the world would say, well, no, it was actually Lauren Boebert who said, well, you know what? We're done with that. Those people just need to step aside and the rest of us need to get on with life. It's like, no, these people are part of our society. And are we not all part of society or are some people just not allowed to participate? Is that what she's saying? Because I get vaccinated for other people. I mean, yeah, I don't want to get sick, but I do it because there are
No, I
people who
totally
can't.
agree. Yeah, you get it for the that's the whole point of vaccines is for the people that can't get them. But what do we care about them?
Yeah, we all just need to move on.
Yeah, that's right. Lauren Boebert.
Now that I don't
That's
have
a person.
a kid in the it affects the memory.
It affects the
Now
memory.
that I don't have a kid in K through 12, I don't get the memos anymore about somebody who's diagnosed with measles.
Right.
That's always disturbing. It's like 2 cases of measles showed up in your kid's school. Like, oh, great. And
I
then
thought that
whooping
was
cough.
yeah, it's weird when you were like, wait a minute, that's a thing.
Yeah, it's like, didn't we get rid of that like 20
I
years
don't know.
ago or 30
Apparently
years
not.
ago?
Apparently. We're still
Apparently
taking
not.
vaccines for it. And as we might be taking vaccines for COVID-19 forever. It's a possibility. Unlikely, but I mean, I
It
don't
might
know.
be like
I
the
never got
seasonal
a flu shot because I just was like, I don't know, I never got sick. And everybody around me got the vaccine. So it was like I wasn't opposed to it. I was just like, well, let one other old lady get that vaccine or something.
Well, I think the flu shot isn't as effective as the COVID-19
Well, and for someone, but I mean,
shot, and it's
again,
not as risky.
COVID things made me think more about like walking around with like the flu. Sure, it doesn't bother me. You know, I've never been sick, but at the same time, it's like, should I get a flu vaccine? But then if I got the vaccine, how would that really help anybody else? If they're all got the vaccine, but I just have to be careful around people that can't.
There are people who can't get the
Yeah,
vaccine.
I have to push those people to the side.
Say, make way.
Make way.
This guy doesn't get sick.
You're
He's
in a
carrying all
wheelchair.
sorts of bugs.
That's right.
He's filthy.
You guys should all wear masks around me.
The
You want to show off your
N90
toys?
the N95
I'm
kind.
gonna go see him. The man, the myth, the
I'm
legend.
gonna have to take these with me when I go because I'm gonna need stuff to entertain myself. Hey, where's the other one?
That's
Oh, there
good.
it is. It's behind here. This one's for you.
Yeah,
at
I get the
least
pink
to
one.
hold right now, but not to keep because that's mine.
San Juan slingshot. Oh,
You just shot.
I almost did.
You just shot my
slap you.
headphones. This one is my favorite. It's like the perfect size for my grip and my strength.
and to miss everything.
Hey, I shot you in the ass with one of yours.
Maybe. Yeah.
It's like I was aiming and Anna's like, oh, come on, don't actually aim for him. And I'm like, and it hit you right in the ass. It's pretty funny.
It was. It was a palm nut.
Yeah, it was a palm nut. But Anna was still like,
Palm nuts, the
don't
best thing
actually
to shoot your
him.
kids with San Juan slingshots. Get yours today.
And your co-host.
Davy Crockett Rowan.
I wonder if I could shoot two at the same
Oh,
time.
you guys. It's almost over for this year.
Are you happy about that?
No. Well, I mean, new beginnings are always a cool thing.
Yeah, fresh.
A lot of coffee in this one.
Magic recipe.
Oh, God. We'll be back to wrap this up in a minute. We forgot to get to Robert Kennedy Jr.'s guest reportedly.
That's got fourth segment written all over it
All
because
right.
it's so funny. It's got throwing your wife under the bus. It's got anti-vax bullshit, and it's got fourth segment written all over it. And we've got Sarah Palin in the news again, and then we've got a Florida man story
Oh
for
yeah.
you. So
Wrap it up with the Florida man.
absolutely.
Nothing, nothing
Like
wrong with.
Florida men should do when they have
Maybe
sex
we'll get the
because
hat
they
trick.
should not breed. What?
See, I said maybe we'll get the hat trick of the feces stories. You never know. We'll be back in a moment. This is Nothing Out Live.